Today, I will be answering the question, is part modeling in SOLIDWORKS Cloud the same as SOLIDWORKS Desktop? xDesign is the app on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform used for cloud design. This is their first look at what the app looks like once you are inside the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. In order to start, I'm going to make it full screen and open up a new component. From here, I'm going to select where I would like to store it. And now we are inside the xDesign app. One thing to note that this is all done on a browser. For example, I am doing this all on Google Chrome. So this is not like SOLIDWORKS Desktop in the fact that it is downloaded onto your computer. I am accessing this via a browser. I've got my URL on top and everything. And so I am located on the cloud doing my design work on the browser. So first off the bat, you can tell it looks very similar to what the desktop SOLIDWORKS looks like. I've got my three planes here, my X, Y, and Z plane. I've also got my view cube up here that I can click around, move, and orient into whatever view that I need. I can go ahead and expand this arrow. I've got a normal to button that I can click and go normal to my selected plane, or I can bring up my orientation cube where I can, again, just like on the desktop SOLIDWORKS, click a portion of the cube and be positioned into that view. I also have the ability to change my units on this right side over here as well. Now, there are a lot of more similarities between designing on the cloud and on the desktop that you will notice down at the bottom here. For example, we've got this sketch tab. I'm going to go ahead and right click to show the command name so you can get a better gif of how they are similar. You can see we've got all the commands that we are used to in our desktop app. I've got the line, I've got the rectangle, I've got the circle, I've got my sketch fillets, and we have all the tools that we are used to. I've also got my features tab as well, my surfaces tab. I have an assembly tab, design guidance tab, a tools tab where this is where we'll access our mass properties. This is where we can access our measuring tab as well as the material. I can go in here and change the material. And then also I've got a lifecycle, marketplace, and a view tab. Now my view tab is where I can access my section views. I can go ahead and edit certain views and make it a wire. I can make it shaded. I can access all my views that I'm used to doing inside of SOLIDWORKS Desktop as well. So just to give you a brief example of how it's very similar, I can go ahead and right click one of these planes, start a sketch, go down to my sketch tab and access my rectangles. I'm just going to go ahead and do a center point rectangle. And I've got my mouse gestures that I'm very used to as well on the desktop. So I'm going to select my dimensions and go ahead and dimension my rectangle. Once my rectangle is fully defined, just like in the desktop, the lines will go black. So I know that my sketch is fully defined. Then I can go ahead and accept the sketch, exit out, go to my features tab and extrude the sketch. So I'm going to select on the profile I want to extrude and select the type I would like to do. I'll do a mid-plane. We'll do 50 millimeters. And there's all these options up here as well. I can do a thin extrude, a surface extrude, but I'm going to stick to my solid extrude. Go ahead and select that green check mark that we're used to on the desktop. And now let me go ahead and do a cut this time. So I'm going to right click on one of these faces of this rectangle. Go ahead and create a sketch. This time I'll use the circle. And I'm going to lock in right on that center point. Accept that. And this time I'm going to utilize constraints. So just by holding Control, select the outside of the circle, select the side of the rectangle. I've got some of my constraints pop up. Let's click on Tangent. And now we've got a fully defined circle as well. That then I can go to my Features tab, go to Extrude, and this time I can select Cut. It's already got my profile selected. Direction, I want to do through all one way. I can flip side to cut. or I can just cut out that circle, which I'm going to do, and then select the green check mark again. As well, I also have my rollback bar that I'm used to in SOLIDWORKS Desktop that I can move up and go back into certain places in my feature history tree, or go back to where I was to begin with. So all this is very similar to what we are used to inside of SOLIDWORKS Desktop, but now it is all browser-based and located on the platform inside of the cloud.